You're listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Hey yo, what up? It's Al Mega, your boy. Hueva, para que tú sepas, por el Supremo de Isabela. That's right, with another one. Talking independent comics, of course. You know how we do, right? Today, I have a great guest. You remember these two amazing images that I showed off from the year now, Huepa and all? Well, I'm happy to have the individuals that blessed me with these beautiful gifts to talk about the amazing press that they got in Onyx Comics. I mean, an awesome independent comic book press that, you know, is known in the circles of the independent world, man. Y'all better not sleep. If you don't know, you're about to learn. First up, let me introduce the one and only, you better pick up your head, Ernest McClendon.
Yes.
Hey, what up, fam? How you doing?
What's up? It's not much number. How you been doing?
Doing great, thank you, man. Let me introduce one of your fellow creators in the project as well.
Yes,
I mean, he's amazing.
My brother,
the one, he's your man at arms right here.
Yes,
Let's do it. The one and only Devin Richard. What's up, kiddo?
How's everybody doing out there?
Man, everybody's doing great, man, and thank you for taking time, fellas, man. I hope you guys have recovered from MegaCon. That's where I had the pleasure of meeting you. Shout out to ClepCX for taking me over to your table and introduced me to the world of Onyx Comics. I appreciate that a lot.
Yes, and we appreciate it too.
So let's start talking, fellas. Let's start talking, man. First up is always the origin story. Tell us a little bit about yourselves. I'll start with Ernest. Tell us a little about yourself, where you hail from, and how did you become a fan of this genre?
Well, I always liked to draw. I was coming out, so you know, that's just the baseline for anybody who's in the comics. You know, the number one level is drawing, and I went to art school. You know, I worked in some ad agencies and did some printing of this and that and this, but I always like comics. And then I just started Onyx Comics one day. At first, I just gave myself a name. And then time went on. And that's when I ran into Devin at MegaCon. And
at a MegaCon, you mean?
Yeah, the MegaCon. And Devin was actually a vendor there. I was just a spectator.
Oh, what? So what year was this?
Oh, see, now you trying to make me tell my age. It's been like almost like 6-7 years.
Okay.
And when you were at MEA, that was my first MegaCon.
Okay.
But I met Devin as just a spectator because he was, you know, because Devin is aggressive now. You know, once he gets something, when he gets his mind. So you know, he called me over to the table. Come onto the table, and we've been back and forth ever since. And I told him one day, I said, "Look, dude, I'm starting a publishing. I need you to come up with a good story." He said, "Dude, I got a story for you." I said, "Remind me." I liked it because it was different, smooth, and I said, "Let's go with it."
So it was that simple for you guys to connect up. Is this how you remember it, Devin?
This is how I remember. I was there. I was selling books. A gentleman was coming along, right? He had his wife with him, and I was noticing he was looking at a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, man, come on over and check out my new book," because I was doing a book called Las Locas. Okay. He picked up Las Locas, so he was telling me that he was interested in getting into comic books. Well, I'm like, okay, I'm hearing this from a lot of guys because at MegaCon. Seriously, it's a bunch of people that have done books and they do their first issue and then everybody like disappear. I got like thousands of books from guys that have done 1, 2, and 3, and I get started reading the books, and then you turn around and I see them, and next year, one year they have a table, and the following year they walking around again. I'm like, you know what happened?
Yeah.
But when he told me he was interested in doing, he was interested in comics. I'm like, okay, so what are you gonna do? So 6 years later, I get a hit from him. I'm on Facebook. He's telling me, hey man, I got my own page. I'm like, well, let me see what you do. And I flip over to his page on Facebook. He's got wonderful art. I'm like, so you really did sit down and actually do what you said you were going to do. So I'm looking at what he's doing. We talk from time to time. I tell him different stories and stuff. He asks me questions about how you do this, how do you get into the field and all of this. Never knowing this gentleman wasn't just going to start his own page. He going to come back and tell me, hey man, won't you come over and work over here with us? And I'm like, okay, I'm listening. I'm always open for things.
Yeah, he is.
What do you want to do? So I started kicking ideas to him. Next day, he done sat down and drew what I'm telling him. So I already was on the right page. I gave him an idea about Buffalo Soldier store. He turned around, drew the whole character out for me.
Wow, really? That's that quickly?
That quickly. So I already knew he wasn't just talking,
man.
And I'm like, okay, well, look, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. So him and his wife come to me one night. I was having different things happen. And they're like, okay, Devin, we're creating our own label. I said, okay. They were like, would you do a book for us? Would I do a book? That's all I do. I said, okay, well, look, do you have any idea? Do I have any ideas? Yeah, I got some ideas. So, what do you want? What do you want? Once we talked about what he want, I'm like, okay, I got 5 different comic books in my head that I can kick to him, but I ain't got money but for one. So we're going to have to figure out which one to do. And the one we figured out was 13 Tribes.
Ooh, you know what, folks? We're talking 13 Tribes. Hold on.
Yes. I'm going to see this pretty book. So we can see this pretty book.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me put that on the screen over here like that. Bring that up. Put it up again. Look at that. Look at that gorgeous book.
Look at that book. It smells pretty too.
Oh man. Listen, that's the mark of a true comic book collector when the first thing you do is open up a book and smell the ink.
Yes. It's a pretty book. And what Devin's telling me, issue 2 is hot already.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Let's start taking some looks at some stuff here, because I mean, look at this. This is just a sketchbook, folks. But god damn, look at that cover.
And that was done by Rudy Vasquez out of
word?
Yeah, it's another gentleman from Texas. I use a lot of artists from home, but I also use all of my international artists.
Beautiful, okay, brother. So you're building the only World Wide Web for real, huh?
Right. Yeah. I'm using and the irony to all this is most of the artists that I run into that I use are usually gentlemen that have tried out for Marvel and DC.
Say word. Yeah, Marvel and DC are very bougie about what they want, because they want somebody that, listen, they're not looking for just skill, but they're looking for someone that's dumb.
Right.
And what I mean by that is someone that's willing to create, not understanding like you could own those properties and make more bank. Don't give it away for a bag of chips. You feel me?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. In the old days, you would actually go up to the editor or somebody that or send something in. Now they won't even allow you to send things in anymore. They literally have to be walking through a comic book show and somebody from Marvel or DC picks you.
Yeah. Have you seen those lines? For those, I saw it at San Diego, I believe, for the first time, where they had a Marvel pitch booth, if you will.
Right.
Man, you had to see this line, and I'm just thinking, you guys are suckers, man. You're gonna give these people that money when you can make this on your own.
And once you sign their contract, you're not allowed to do any other independent work for anyone else. You got a bunch of gentlemen that work for Marvel and DC that actually had books that they were trying to pitch to Image or the Dark Horse, but because of their contract, you can't work on any outside work, only theirs.
Nah, that's not fair. I mean,
Yes,
this is a different economy nowadays. So
Yep.
But me as looking at as an artist, I know I can't fit it because when I think of Marvel and DC Image, they have a certain art style.
yeah,
Either they want to look like a Jim Lee or Jason Scott Campbell. And, so my thing is, I don't want to be them.
yeah, you want to be you.
Oh, I want to be you. So I tell people, they tell me you should draw. No, because I know I'm not me and Marvel and DC. We're not gonna fit because I'm not gonna draw like this. And I tell everybody the story I had when I was coming up. When I was coming up in Ohio, I went to a comic book show. Marvel was there, some Hawk pages, and at that time, Todd McFarlane, all them was hot before they jumped the Image. And everybody told me, "I like your stuff, though, but can you get more like a Jim Lee or something like that?" So I went home hurt. So I told my mom. My mom said, "What happened?" So when I told her the story, she says, "You know what? That's fine. If you draw like them, it's not gonna say Ernest, is it? It's gonna say you just another copycat of this person. So draw where you want to draw." And from that day on, I don't follow nobody. I get stuff like I draw like this person or this.
You don't need that. I hate comparisons, yo. I despise comparisons.
Yeah,
don't compare. We all bring our own unique business to what we do. You know what I mean? Period.
That's not what they want, boss.
Of course not.
When we first started out, and I did my very first book, I can remember George Perez came over, and I used to read Teen Titans.
Gotcha.
And he told me, he said, you know what, man? I said, what? He said, out of independence, you guys are the most professional I've seen, but check this out. I said, what? A lot of people passing by your table that's looking at your work, they work for Marvel. And I said, really? And he said, yes. And they're looking at everything you guys are doing. But do you think Marvel came by and offered us jobs? We've even had people that went to see a lot of the artists that were there, and they came back, and I was listening to them. They was like, man, I went over there, I showed them my stuff, and they're like, dude, are you going to go over there? And I'm like, no. And they said, why? I said, dude, I don't want to work for Marvel. I want to be Marvel.
Yeah. Preach.
I'm trying to beat Marvel. We trying.
And they were like, huh? I was like, if they came over here and offered me a job, I would actually refuse it. I don't want to work for Marvel. I want to be Marvel. I don't want to work for them.
And look, we have another awesome independent press company ran by my good friend and fellow comic crusader Paul Hayden. He says, love this and agree. Walk your own path.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we do it. We do it every day. I think Devin and we talk like every other day.
Yeah.
Good. Y'all talk more to each other than y'all spouses, huh? Now the spouses you got though, they're on the money though. I love it.
Yeah. Hey, look, the wives be keeping us in control, but that's not it. No. And I told them, I said, now once they get real close on the same page, I said we're gonna be in trouble because they'll be making decisions and be like, okay, hey. But
listen, they're working great with you guys. So.
I'm thankful for my wife because a lot of stuff I can do, but I don't want to do. Like all the business side of this, like set this up right here. When I come downstairs in my art room, I'll be ready to draw, paint. And I be trying to do that business stuff, and I'll be like, man, I can't do this. I said, sweetie, help me out. And she set it up for me. So I tell everybody,
look at this. And that's Kiss Me Comics says, amen. Guys, make your own path. And it's funny, he himself has his lady. As we were doing our recording, you could hear her in the background. Yeah, this is what it was. I mean, she really like running it, and I love it. I love when I see couples like this. This is what makes you guys power couples, man. Y'all gonna be power couples in comics when you're able to work cohesive like that. With your spouse, and then with outside folks like Devin. You know what I mean? You gotta create this family, and this is what I see through Onyx, and it's beautiful, bro.
Yeah,
Devin and I, man, we talk about some of everything, man. He come up, bruh, I got this idea. I'm like, okay, well, what you got? See, Devin is like a it's like a Motown. he got so many ideas coming out of his head. They just be shoot. Because over 6 years, man, he done pitched me. He got vampire stories, Dracula stories, all these different stories that he got, and he also got books that he already got. He got like 5, 6 books already fully written.
Beautiful. Yo, Devin, man, when are we gonna see this stuff out in the world?
What do you mean, man? I've been trying to do books since what, 95?
95? Yeah. That's wow. So that's a perfect segue. The journey.
Yeah.
The journey, man. So your journey has been since 95, my brother. And how has that journey treated you?
What do you mean? We got a cover, an alternate cover done by Larry Stroman through that journey. Okay, because I've met so many different people. I met Arthur Adams. Yeah. I gotta find his phone number because I have his number somewhere in the house. And he's like, when he saw, because with me, I started with landscape books, and I'm still gonna do landscape books. But I met people like Arthur Adams, like Steel Freeze. He came.
Brian is crazy. Yeah.
George Perez. I've met so many different people, and hopefully once I get 13 Tribes going, okay, I can actually call back on all those people that I've met to help us with the push. But the journey from 95, bro, I've worked 2 and 3 jobs to get books printed. Wow. I've done a little bit of everything legal.
Legal. Yeah, legal.
I get it.
But yeah, it's we started we started before the internet, okay? And that's the joke that we tell. Like when I run into kids, when I needed artists, we went to art supply stores, and we had to put up banners and stuff and notes to look for artists. There was no getting on a computer and contact people.
My brother, right? You know, where was the post back then? An easy tweet. I need an artist, right?
Right.
Back then, you guys had to haul stuff to stores. Right.
That's why when we talk, people always say, and a friend of mine, Mike, always says, as far as comic books are concerned, we are considered OGs. And I asked him, I said, why would you say that? He's like, Devin, there was no internet when we started. We used to meet up at the Houston Library and we would tell other people and put the word out. So artists would actually just show up at the library. And that's actually how we started our very first comic books. You had to go up to colleges and high schools, word of mouth. So when I first started my first group, I had everything in the group from kids in junior high. The kids in junior high would talk with the high school artists and the inkers and stuff, and that's how they would learn. We had people that would show up from colleges. I had a friend of mine that the police were looking for. Okay, he was a tagger.
Damn.
So he would go around and he was tagging everything. Okay, so he was also a partner, and he disappeared, and we couldn't figure out what happened. Come to find out, they had caught him tagging a bus stop. So he was actually downtown. So they're thinking it was a gang back in the day. That's how much tagging he was doing, and it was one person. Okay. So I had a little bit of everybody working with me because we were trying to actually get books going. So I've gone from libraries to actually meeting people in homes, to actually doing cons, to actually working with someone with the church, and doing like a Christian comic book.
Hey, man, Christians read comics too. Let's go.
Yeah, but the only problem with that is they don't really want to buy comic books. They want to read.
Oh, hey,
they don't want to buy.
They're asking you for a donation when they're trying to cap your
stuff.
Like
yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, it's been a long journey, but it was something nice that my wife said recently. She said, I'm proud of you. And I said, okay, why? And she said, because no matter what happens, you have not stopped doing what you love.
And
that's beautiful, kid.
And I can vouch for that. I can vouch for that because he called me plenty of days hot. Man, these so man, these Ernest, man, that's when I said, look, we gotta do something. And he always told me, man, hey, we gotta work together on something, whatever it is. I said, man,
that's the story of your journey. He hit you up, we gotta do something, and that's what started your journey. Like, where's your journey come in, Ernest? Like
mine's came in because I'm an artist, and I tell everybody, I don't mind. It's like not that I can't write. It just when I sit down, my mind just go off somewhere. You know, I get to drawing stuff before you know it. And I'm the kind of person, I'm the kind of artist, I don't want to do a book that's 28 pages because I rather do 10 pages of the character in a steampunk setting. The next 10 pages, he's in a futuristic setting. That's just the artistic side of me because I don't want to. I see so many artists now that come along, they draw superheroes all day long, and that's the only thing they want to do is draw superheroes.
Yeah.
Because that's what they mind. My thing is, I don't want to do superheroes. I don't want to draw Superman tight. So I draw big girls, skinny girls, fat women. And I always get that. Well, she's pretty, but why she's fat? Because I don't want to draw the stereotype woman. Because when I walk out the door, only thing I see is I don't see that. The stuff I see in the comic book. So I try to get like a Will Eisner look on things. On how he built up the different type of people. So yeah, that's where I come. But my journey is always like comics. And I just really, within the last 5 years, my wife really helped me see what I want to do.
That's awesome.
Because she went with me to a comic book show, and she was like, how come you ain't doing this? I'm like, doing what? Doing shows. I was like, I don't know. And at that time, I had a bunch of big girl stuff, like my Christy Love, little comic strips I was doing. And she came in one day, and she slid this form in front of me on the table. I'm like, what's this? He said, get ready. You're doing your first show. I'm like, hold up.
Oh, so wait. So she didn't even ask you. She said, yo, here, you got a goddamn table. You better show this shit off.
Yeah. And then she would tell me, I'm like, well, I ain't got nothing to show. Well, she told me I can't get my money back. Put your big girl drawers on, sink or swim.
Not even boxers. She said, get your big girl drawers on.
Big girl drawers on, sink or swim. So Lexington Con, which that was my first show. It wasn't a local show, it was a national show.
Oh, wait a minute.
Lexington Con, yes. My first show was a national show. I had no banners, no nothing. And I still broke even, and I still made a little bit of money. And that's when I was like, you know what?
Kiss Me Comics says she drafted you, son.
Yeah, you got drafted. That's exactly what she said.
And I was like, you know what? Cool. I was like, cool. And for years, she was saying, you need to get a website. I'm like, man, I won't do no website. And so now I finally got an assistant to help me with my website. Every Friday, start loading up stuff. We're going to start loading up stuff for 13 tribes, a couple of pages so people can see. It's a lot. It's a lot. And with her helping me, man, it takes a lot. Because I'm drawing now. You know, and like I just like to draw. I just love to draw, and as long as it's something different, keeps my end. Because I like that quick hit, and I want to go do something. I want to do something else. So yeah. But my journey, as long as with Devin, as long as I got Devin on my side, my wife here, I can take it anywhere I want to go.
Excellent. So let's keep talking about the 13 tribes because I know we're showing off this beautiful cover, but let's get a little bit on the inside.
Yeah.
And look how gorgeous that coloring is, folks. The paneling, everything. Explain what's going on here, and what issues is from. What's popping?
It's issue 1, man.
Issue 1.
Beautiful. Look at this.
Issue 1. They assassinated a prime minister, and the council has sent coffee as a retribution.
So is this Coffee? This guy?
Now,
No.
man, coffee on his knees.
Oh, this is Coffee.
No,
Right here.
That's coffee.
Okay.
Hold
Coffee
up.
came in and he's praying, and they're thinking he's praying because he's scared. And what they don't know is
So
he praying to God for their souls because of what's about to happen to them.
Oh, really? So basically, he's about to put. Oh, as we see, he's gonna put it on him.
That's it.
Yes, but my favorite page in the book is this.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me put that up. Let me move you and put you up on here.
This is my
Hey,
favorite
look
page.
at that.
This is my favorite page in the show. This one right here.
Oh, dude, and folks, look at that beautiful, beautiful coloring on that. Hold on, let me put you on the solo layout so that cover. I mean,
Yeah.
look at that coloring. Look at the panels. Look at the action sequence. And this is independent comics. You see what I'm saying? Who the
And
hell needs the big
all
suit?
of that is done by a gentleman named William Allen Reyes. Now, this is
Really?
the funny part because y'all were talking about power couples, right?
Yeah,
When we first got the pencils for that, right?
yeah.
My wife was like, I was like,
Oh,
what you
really?
do? He was like, I'm not feeling that. He needs those pages are different. The original pages, when I got the book, I showed it to my wife, and she was looking through, and she was like, I don't like that. And he actually had to go back
See
and
that
fix
tell you?
some of the pages. And then when they colored the pages, because on that one, we went from pencils to colors. There were pages in there that had been colored, and I showed it to my wife because it's not going to pass. And
Yeah.
she said, she was like, you know what? And I was like, what? She was like, 2 of these pages I'm not feeling at all.
Oh,
And I'm like, them pages been colored already and paid for. She was like, Devin, I don't like this page. She flipped through
Hey.
and I don't like that page. So I had to go back and change 2 colored pages.
wow.
That's how serious. And the interesting thing is, and this is another thing that made me proud. That book is edited by my wife, okay? My assistant editor is my 13-year-old son.
Oh, another family affair.
And wait a minute. After the book was done, after the book was done, I came home the other night, right? He was sitting, the book was laid down somewhere. I said, okay, who got my book? And my wife said, your son was sitting there and he read through the whole book.
Oh,
And I'm like, so he just sat back and re-edited the book. And she's like, yeah. So when I see him upstairs, right, I pass by the shower. He's like, hey, Dad, I read the book all the way through. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I got some ideas for up and coming books. And I'm like, seriously? He's like, oh, yeah, I'm going to have to write them down and show them to you.
I love it. Empowerment, man.
Yeah.
That empowerment for your kids. Like, yeah, let's do it. Let them be business. Again, because me comics is the same because they do. They see all in the family, which is beautiful. Is that they do the same.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I love it.
Yes, sir.
This
Yes,
narrative.
sir.
And
I
see,
love this narrative, man.
my issue with Ernest, with my books, is he's a writer. I mean, he's an artist. He only want to do 10 pages. But see, I'm a writer. When I start writing, my book ain't 10, 20 pages.
You write a novel in 24 hours.
Yeah, he's giving you 300 pages of art. You're like, bro, are you nuts?
Dude, I wanted the books to be 40 pages, and he's hollering about, man, them books only need to be 21, 28 pages. And I'm like, dude, we're independent. Let me do a 40-page book.
But see, okay, but here's the thing, though. I'm looking at it from not just as a book, also as a business aspect. So many independent comics come out with these 40, 50-page books, and they can't get them printed. Because if you print color, it's going to cost you.
It's money.
And you print black and white, it's not going to cost you as much. So I was like, look, you want to print color, cut the pages down. We can't compete with Marvel, DC, because we don't have the funds to do that. They can come up with these graphic novels. I said, so if you were independent, cut your books down. Stop trying to do these graphic novels off the rip when you first come out, because I don't see an issue with people do 60 pages books and look up, well, I need another artist because the first artist couldn't finish.
Let me blow your mind, my brother. I've met creators in Massachusetts, especially a specific creator that he does his Kickstarters page by page. If you want to see the rest of the book, you're paying for each page, almost on a webcomic style. But people fund the page. He does that, and the next thing you know, after they pay for 22 pages, here comes the book.
See,
it's wild, but it works for him.
Yeah, that's ingenious right there, man. I can see that.
I was thinking about doing webtoons.
A lot of people are jumping on webtoons. I mean, even DC worked out some deal with webtoons. Can I say? Do I understand how that works? No. You know, I don't know anyone personally that got a webtoons deal and how that's going to work out for them. It's the same thing with the Substack. When you see that James Tynion saying, okay, well, after I finish with DC, I'm done. Everything's on Substack. So how do you make that money? You know what I mean? You got to market your ass off because you know that Substack's not going to market for you. So anytime you move to a platform, you know, you got to do more work. That platform is not marketing for you, especially as indies. So this is why I admire about you guys. You have a team. You know, you push your product out. You're at cons kicking ass. You know, you're engaging. I mean, and then you bless me with beautiful artwork. I mean, look at this.
And hold on a second. Let me tell you about the con. Let me tell you about the con.
It's a con? No, Mr.
No, we did MegaCon, okay? And everybody knows it's the biggest North American con. Okay? I have been trying to get everything because I was sort of worried a little bit. So I'm like, I'm going to do posters and I'm going to do a sketchbook. And when we printed the posters, they called me. The printer called me and said, come on. And I said, what's going on? He said, you got to come see these posters. The posters are going to probably do better than the comic book. I said, are the posters that good? He said, Devin, how much were you going to sell the posters for? So I told him the price. He said, you need to double that. I said, okay. Wow. So we get to the show. I put the posters on the table. I put the comic book on the table. Normally, I'm having to do a song and dance to get people to just stop at the table, pick up books, because I have to be aggressive. That book was calling people. Okay. I got the posters, the sketchbook. People are passing by, come like, man, with the book, this first issue, man, that's gorgeous. Yeah, give me one. I'm talking about no song and dance. They're just reaching in their pocket and handing me money. Okay.
Handing money over.
So basically, they would just reach in and say, here's my wallet, charge whatever you need to charge, right?
Before I knew anything, I had already sold a box, bro.
See, that's what people want to hear. That is amazing.
I mean, he came out the box and sold almost 240.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, that's unheard of.
No, hold on. I sat down, okay, and I'm like, I brought 2 boxes of books. MegaCon started turning people away at 60,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Had they let everybody come in that showed up, I brought 2 boxes of books. There was 150 books in each box. Okay.
Yeah.
I was down to my second box and I was at a half.
Wow.
You feel me?
Beautiful.
So I think honestly, it was more than 240 books sold. And I would have actually not have brought enough books, y'all.
Oh wow!
Had they let everybody in?
Yeah, because they was going through the books. Because you call them over there, they'll look at it, and the first thing they'll say is, if they're a floppy person who collect, oh, this is a nice book.
Mm-hmm.
This is a nice book. So
your presentation is amazing, guys. You have a beautiful presentation on your product. And of course, you're also engaging, and then you have a team behind you that definitely wants to keep people at the table.
Yeah,
You guys do an amazing
yeah.
job at that. I mean, again,
Yeah.
I mean, look at like this page, for example. I mean, look at this, folks. What's going on here? This is just intrigue the shit out of anybody.
What you mean, man? I had the day we showed up. Where'd everybody go?
I'm here.
The day everybody showed up, someone that I knew passed by and he saw the book. He was like, nah. And I'm like, really? Nah. He was like, nah, man, that comic book. And I was like, okay, well, we gonna see. And I went to the table and I sat down and Ernest them say, what's wrong? I said, oh, I just got some negative feedback about the book. And the gentleman next to me said, let me see this book. And so I showed it to him. He said, Devin, I used to have my own comic book store. And I said, okay.
That's a good book.
He said, this book is gorgeous. Whoever gave you negative feedback, man, do not listen to them. Do what you were supposed to, what you're here to do.
Yeah, man. Don't listen to the haters, bro. I mean, you never even know because I'm probably sure of why they were like, nah, about it. You know what I mean? I'm sure I know why. But you know what? And to people like that, F you. You know what I mean?
But the whole thing I wanted to get out to the people that are actually listening to this show. Listen, guys. If it's something that you want to do it. Please do not be sitting at home years later making that statement. Man, I should have. I
don't live a life of regret.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't let those people tell you that you can't do something. That's why right now I'm looking at Netflix and Hulu and I'm shaking my head because I'm like, these people have completely forgot imagination and they forgotten how to write stories because everything I'm seeing seems like the same thing.
I'm like, over and over again. Tragic.
Oh yeah, everything keeps constantly rehashed.
It's nothing original anymore. I was just sitting down and a friend of mine called me and I was like, what's up? And they was like, Devin, you know they finna do Highlander again. And I'm like, they finna put out a new Highlander series. And they like, not only that, they're talking about movies. And I'm like, you know, this is really getting sad when everything that we watched when we were little is back on TV.
Oh, bro, I was complaining to my wife the other day about this, where it's like, what happened to originality? I am tired of remakes and reboots. I don't need them. The OG did it better anyway. Every remake and reboot never gets it right because they're trying to sell a message. Huh?
And we're still gonna do it better. OG is still gonna do it better, goddamn.
Absolutely. This is why 13 tries. Yo, you want some good stuff? You gotta go to Onyx Comics. That's where the business is at. That's where they do independent creators. You get like original characters. You get POC universe. You know what I mean? Nothing that feels forced. It's so natural. Like I was telling Kiss Me Comics, and that's what I love. It's that, you know, even they tell you, man, listen, look, Kiss Me is with you. He's another publisher. He's like, they're always haters, and we see the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like,
yes, we do.
You know, and we get it. You know, we're different. We're coming onto the scene. We're making ourselves more noticed, if you will, because again, that's what it is. And nobody likes when you start shaking that can, if you will. You know, that proverbial can and making the noise. Like we here, man. We're tired of being ignored.
Yeah, we are.
So, and I love what you guys are doing. You're doing some awesome stuff. I mean, again, look at this artwork, folks. I gotta keep showing it off. This is you guys almost made me cry because this is my first piece of original art.
Yeah, original art. I don't do copies.
Did you hear this, yo, folks? Ernest.
I don't do copies.
They don't sell prints. He was like, here, no copy. Original. You gotta feel this. And it's like he knows what I like too, bastard. How dare you? Look, and then look at this gorgeous piece of art right here. I mean, look how beautiful. These guys are gifted. They're blessed, folks.
And that's one of the next comic books coming out.
When? No, we're already at the stage to talk about the future. What's coming next, folks?
That is one of the next. That's Oblivion. And he will be showing up in 13 Tribes.
Epa. When can we expect this, and how can people get their hands on that?
You will probably be getting Oblivion. Honestly, things have been actually going so well that I'm thinking Oblivion may actually be on the table for, if not the next show, it should be ready. We're going to get started on it for the summer coming up.
Yeah.
Oh snap!
Because we got to do the second issue of 13 Tribes, simply because when we left MegaCon, if you go to my TikTok,
asking for book 2 when
it was so many people running up and they were talking about it. They were like, Devin, you better not come here without book 2.
Oh,
so
they threatened you.
I can't show back up in MegaCon without 2.
Without book 2, yes.
And I will say this right now, so that everyone hears, the first 10 pages of issue 2 of 13 Tribes have already been drawn.
Oh, nice. And what's the scope of pages on this one? So if we
Ernest won't let me go no further than 28, but Warpath is drawing the book, and he sent me one of the pages, and then he contacted me back. He's like, I don't like that. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, Devin, I'm going to cut that page in half. I said, in the book ain't 28 pages no more. You done already went into 29 pages.
You're
costing me more, kiddo. With
right. So now.
But you know what, though? You know what, I don't like doing Kickstarters, for one.
No.
Okay.
I never did, because that's too much work. So when I told people that I'm publishing a comic book, you're not doing a Kickstarter, I said, no. Well, how you funding it? I said, well, and I said, the man who writing the book worked just as hard as I do.
Yep.
I said, you know, and me and Devin talked about it. I said, to me, if you do a Kickstarter, if you don't have a humongous following of 15, 20, 30, 40,000 people, your book has a chance of not getting funded.
Yeah, agreed.
And I see so many artists who has nice books don't get funded. I said, then it gets heartbroken when you see somebody like Walt Potasio, somebody start a Kickstarter, or Frank Cho start a Kickstarter, and it gets funded in 24 hours.
Yeah, no, and I get that, though. It's not just the following, too. You also have a job as a creator to use every avenue available to you to market the product. And unfortunately, a lot of creators don't do that. They don't go, hey, Comic Crew, I got something coming out. You want to share this? Hey, so-and-so, I got this. You want to share this? You know what I mean? Yeah. You also got to use your press contacts and use your community. You know, you got to use that social media. You have, even if you have 300 followers, it doesn't matter. Spread the word. And especially when you tell people that have a big following, hey, I know you support me. Would you mind sharing this? You know, learn how to use the web you're building. And let me tell you, you never know how far you could get.
Well, we know, because we even went gave plasma and told the people what we was giving plasma. I got books in the trunk of the car. Okay, we still do it like the old days. I got in the trunk of my car riding around with me.
The old school when we used to buy tape cassettes right from the trunk.
That's right.
Yo, the mixtapes. Yo, I got that Clue. I got that new joint right here. Yo, check it out. Right. Bro, you have to see my mixtape collection. I have it in a box. Yo, but now I have no player for it other than my old Walkman.
But
the Walkman, folks, that's something you used to put a tape into.
But you know what? Young folks won't know what that is. They don't know what that is.
But something I was also thinking about on the real. You have all these big companies and stuff that create cons. Well, you have little places and stuff in Houston and in Texas and that you could actually start your own con. You can actually do your own show. That's what I was telling somebody else. You have comedians and they have the nerve enough to say it's a one-man show. Dude, if you find somewhere that you can sell your book at, like a little flea market, you got to do, see, and that's one thing I learned from the journey. You got to do the footwork. You got crews. I've run into people and they got the products. Well, say, man, why don't you do flyers and let the people know? Or why don't you go to comic book shows and tell them you want to do, oh, man, I ain't nobody. And because I'm not nobody, I'm going to buy a show. You know how many books I did and went and actually did signings at comic book stores? And I don't care if I'm not Frank Cho or Stan Lee or nobody. I'm Devin Richard. You gonna come get this
Oh
book.
Yeah. But then at the same time, now stay on the lookout now. Not only are we a publishing company, we also gonna start doing our own cons. We had set up Onyx Con right before COVID hit, and the place that we could set up it, so we had to cancel it. So we're gonna try to do Onyx Con for 2023.
He said, "I have books will travel."
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, like I said, not only am I doing publishing, I'm also doing cons. So, like I said, for 2023, 2024, you will see Onyx Con, Onyx. What I forgot. I forgot how my wife said it.
What's that, man? Let me know where I can buy my table at.
Man, you already know.
Buy. Yo, bro,
buy.
if he charges you for a table, man, I'm gonna get mad at him myself. How dare?
That's why
Family is free, son.
That's Devin. That's Devin talking. Devin know once we
He got Devin talking.
He got a table. He got a table.
I love that. I have the same idea because again, we're all about showcasing and celebrating independent. And like I have the same idea. I would love to do my own con one day and celebrate everything independent. I mean, I know that some big two creators do independent work, so I'm not gonna bash them or anything. But I want to truly focus on independent comic book show. That's really the key for me, because again, people want to always ask the bigger companies for that, but it's like they don't understand that Indie's been doing it.
Yeah, and I think Indie can take over. We all just gotta get on the same page.
Yeah, so like celebrate each other, even though you're on different publishers, you are not on the scale of a big two. So work together in an avenue where we all get celebrated. And like even he understands, and he it's Kids Me Comics. Like when I said, "Yo, I'm gonna be talking to Onyx Comics," I heard about them. You guys are already legends on the circuit, kiddos.
Just hold on, man. We coming. we coming. Because I've got an idea that I actually want to shoot, and it's been in my head forever. I'd actually like to go to some cons and start talking to the independents about actually, I've always wanted to do a magazine called Maverick, and Maverick allows everybody to just come in and do a 5 or 10 page story.
Oh, man.
A lot of people that haven't been able to get printed could actually put because everybody's read heavy metal, okay? Yep. And heavy metal's gotten old, but I still like heavy metal.
Heavy metal is doing some stuff though right now. They keep getting good. I mean, even when I was at MegaCon, you had a person, I think either on the next aisle or across from you, Fabrice Sapolsky, that like I spoke to him, and on that Saturday, he's like, "Al, I got this crazy email. Heavy metal wants me to be one of the editors in chief on some projects." I'm like, "What?"
I wish you'd have told me that, because I want to do a 13 Tribes heavy metal story.
Say no more. I will connect you with my homie. You're done. Don't worry. Done deal.
Everybody kept saying 13 Tribes would be perfect for heavy metal.
It looks it, man. I mean, it looks heavy metal. I mean, I hear a heavy metal. I don't hear a hip hop soundtrack behind that book. I hear like a heavy metal soundtrack, some Seven Dust on that MFA. You know what I mean?
I can do Seven Dust.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. Yo, bro, come on, they're awesome. But Metallica, my system, come on. I'm a metal. Like, listen, don't mistake this PR. I love my hip hop, but I could get down in a mosh pit too. All right.
Okay.
We're about to do a Nigerian reggae concert in hopefully a couple of weeks. All right, here in the House of Blues in Orlando.
Well, we're
worldwide when it comes to music. So
we're trying to figure out where else can we go in Orlando, and I mean not just in Orlando, in Florida, because we were asking about other.
Well, Tampa has a show, and from what I understand, fellas, that Tampa has a amazingly huge comic book community that's even bigger and surpasses what Orlando has to offer. And this is coming from comic shops in Orlando.
Serious?
Tampa. Yeah. They're telling me, yo, like if you're serious about comics, Tampa is really where it's at.
Well, that's our next stop, Devin. Tampa. Here we come.
That's what they're telling me. I'm new out here, my brothers. But I've gone to 3 comic shops, and all 3 comic shops have told me the same. Like Tampa has the bigger comic book community than Orlando.
Then you're gonna have to tell me what con to go to in Tampa.
Well, I'll find out from my comic shop what's popping over there, and I'll communicate that back to you guys. What is the hottest? Because then again, that means I'm just gonna have another opportunity to hang out with you guys.
Come on, hang out with us there, man.
Hey,
Listen, like Joe St. Pierre, I could hide under the table, and when somebody's iffy, I'll pop out like a Jack in the Box talking about you better buy this book because.
Man, we just gonna buy you a chair, and let you sit behind and sit down.
He stood behind us.
Listen, I'm there for you guys. I love what you guys are doing. I love the message. I love the tenacity. I love the hustle spirit. And now, with that, this is where we're gonna end it from both of you. And I'll start with Devin on this one. Devin, in your journey, what are the lessons and advice that you could give an up and coming creator?
Lesson number 1, I already said it. Don't let any of the haters get in your way. The other advice is do not try to do everything on your own. I had a good friend, and that was his problem. He wanted to draw it, he wanted to write it, he wanted to ink it, he wanted to do everything. You can't do everything, okay? So find you a group. Get people that you can trust around you. Because, you know, a smart man has always said that if real leaders keep people that are smarter than them around them. You get what I'm saying?
Facts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Facts.
Yes, sir.
Facts. And, you know, that's why I'm blessed by having so many smart people on my team.
That's
that are,
right.
like, way above me on stuff. Like, yeah, everything I'm doing is a step-by-step learning journey for me still. I'm not a pro at this.
That's
you
right.
know? And I learn every day, and I am blessed by having wonderful people on my team. And I also have opportunity to talk to folks like yourselves that further inspire me and, you know, and keep that fire ablaze, if you will. And thank you, Devin, for those beautiful words there, man, which is truth. What about you, Ernest, in your journey?
Well,
You know,
in my
what can
journey,
you talk about it?
I'm coming from as the publisher and the artist. The publisher side is that's always going to be a learning experience, and you always have to be open to criticism. And my thing is find people who have did it before you. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid. I mean, people are going to tell you no. They tell you no, you just move
It
on, find the
happens.
next person. It happens. This is part of life. You know, keep your nose to the ground and always keep looking on how to better yourself. Now, as an artist, I tell everybody, that's something you have to do every day, or at least try to do every day. You have to hone your skills, either as an artist or as a publisher. They're both skills. So every day you have to do something. If you're gonna be a publisher, do something that publishers do every day. If you're gonna be an artist, do something that artists do every day. So my thing is get in there, hone your skills, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and keep an open mind. And just keep an open mind.
I love that. That's the same thing that the last guest had said too, in regards keep an open mind. It seems that is the most important thing, yo. Like, definitely as a creator, just understand that, you know, understand the opportunity that's presented to you, and see if it is a good fit. And if it is, then there you go. If not, then, you know, be honest about it, though. Don't lie to yourself or to whoever gives you the offer. I love it. You guys have been amazing, yo. I mean, the stories are awesome. The journey, the books, the artwork. I've been showing it off. So let me just, again, show it off. So website, Onyx4comics.com. All right?
Yes.
And I don't mean spell out number 4. It's the number 4. So
yeah.
Onyx4comics.com. And, you know, Ernest, you know, awesome dude right here. Passionate. I love the energy, kiddo. Yo, check him out at Onyx Comics on Instagram, Onyx Comics 1 on Facebook and Twitter, and Onyx Comics on TikTok. Now, you telling me you ticking and talking, brother?
You know,
we're going to see some dance moves or what? What's popping?
No. I got that from Devin. Devin said, dude, I went on TikTok and I got so many hits. So I uploaded some of my artwork. I got like 634 views.
Oh, beautiful.
So I got that from Devin. I said, Devin, I'm like, okay, I'll go to TikTok.
Wait, so Devin be ticking and talking, he like be breakdancing on air or something?
Man, Devin be showing 13 tribes. And the funny thing is, on one of my jobs, I ran into, I think maybe, honestly, 13. 13 seems to be my number. 13-year-old girls. And they're like, nah, old people on Facebook and Instagram, if you want everybody to buy something from you, you go on TikTok.
Ah, gotcha. They the old folks are cheap, and you want the youngins.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I love it. So there you go, folks. With Devin, follow him at TikTok at Devin's Comics Adventure, on Twitter at Comics BYD, on Facebook at Devin.Richard180, and at IG at Comics by Devin. Very simple, folks. Again, but most importantly, visit this website and understand the amazing work that these individuals are putting out. Stay tuned for where they're going next. Make sure to visit them. And remember, Ernest don't sell prints. So you go to Ernest, he's going to give you some artwork. You know, Devin got massive artwork and prints, so you get a little bit of everything. But most importantly, buy 13 Tribes. Yeah. Support this amazing project that they got going on. I want to thank you both for your time. And you know how they say, we don't give flowers, right, to creators. Let me give you your flowers. Thank you for doing things to entertain us. Thank you for putting yourselves out there in the world, you know, up for criticism and all. But in my opinion, you guys are doing amazing. God bless you. You guys are awesome. And I can't wait to see Onyx Comics characters on the small screen and the big screen, because I really do see that happening for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nah, man, that's real talk.
We already heard something like that at the show.
So it's coming. I know it's coming. Again, when we speak things onto the world, things do in fact happen.
Speed into existence.
It's gonna happen. So we're gonna get a real POC world of comic characters soon. That's gonna be awesome. That you're not even gonna care if they're POC, because at the end of the day, there's gonna be awesome comic characters. Because using acronyms like that at the end of the day only hurts us. We're all human at the end of the day. So how about that?
Yep.
Right.
Now I want to tell you something about the piece you got behind you.
Yep.
The original piece, that's from the book I'm going to do after we get finished working with. Yes, that's Bertha Butt. That's the original Bertha Butt piece.
Bertha, man, it's like, did you know me when it's like, yo, bro, did you read that in my eyes?
No. It's called Bertha Butt, Big Butt Vixen.
He saw Puerto Rican. He goes, Puerto Ricans love big butts. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, wait.
I'm not going to deny it. I love it. Ernest, Devin, you guys have been amazing. God bless you guys on your journey. And I want to tell you guys that Comic Crusaders is your home. So please, you're always welcome back when you have a new project, a new thing, anything going on. Wherever you're going next, please let us know, and I'll be more than happy to share that with the world, all right? And our wonderful listeners.
Okay.
And folks, I'm not going to tell you where to go because the outro tells you all of that business. But with that, I want to thank you for your time and joining us today to talk to the amazing folks behind Onyx Comics. I'm Omega with Ernest McClendon and Devin Richard, and we out. Much love, fam.
We're out. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also, make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.